But there are other rain chances for the Metroplex in the next couple of days. We'll show you that in a moment. But here's our severe thunderstorm watch. You can see that again. It's going to be well south and west of Dallas-Fort Worth. It goes until 10 o'clock this evening because that is where we do have the highest chance of seeing some additional showers and storms this evening that could produce maybe some quarter-size hail, maybe wind gusts to 60 miles an hour. So in the meantime, it certainly looks like it wants to rain. We've got the heavy clouds. It's fair apart camera. Temperatures are in the low 80s. That wind, it's out of the east right now at 11 miles an hour. Satellite and radar showing just how socked into these clouds we are. We had some showers and storms to our south earlier. That continues to move off to the east, but we've had some storms kind of redevelop just to the south and west. You can see that one storm south and east of Hamilton. That's now currently severe, but that is again moving south and east away from us. So zooming in a little bit closer around Cleburne, you can see that storm does have a couple lightning strikes with it, but it's not severe by any means. Another strong storm in between Glen Rose and Meridian. It does have some lightning and some heavy rain. And then we're also watching this other storm west of Eastland, and it almost looks like it's trying to weaken as it moves farther away from us. Temperatures tonight, they're dropping down into the low to mid 60s. We're dropping down to about 66 tonight in Dallas, 63 in McKinney, 65 tomorrow morning in Denton. And then tomorrow afternoon, I expect us to end up a lot like where we ended up today. We're going to be back in the low 80s. So staying below normal, the normal being 88 degrees. I see a high of us for about 83 degrees in Fort Worth, 84 in McKinney, 82 in Denton, and 84 tomorrow afternoon in Corsicana. So looking at our timecast for today, it's doing a pretty good job of initializing, kind of showing you where those storms are currently. But then at 5 o'clock, it still has the showers and storms, mainly south and west. Could a few showers make it into the Metroplex? Sure, but I think most of us will end up staying dry. This is midnight tonight, and it shows most of North Texas completely dry. We're going to keep the clouds around. 6 o'clock in the morning still looks mostly cloudy. During the day tomorrow, it looks mostly dry until we get to later in the evening. Now we're looking at 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, and it's showing a broken line of a few showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms, but then we get to 10 o'clock tomorrow evening, and now we have some stronger storms in between Decatur, Mineral Wells, and even higher coverage of storms around Coleman and just southwest of there. And then we've got the showers that kind of move through overnight, and then by Friday morning it's out of here. We're dry. Friday afternoon, I think we're going to work in some more sunshine, and that sticks around at least for your Saturday. So for this evening, looking at that risk of severe weather, it's going to stay to our south and west. That's where we have that slight risk of seeing quarter-size hail, wind gusts of 60 miles an hour. I do not expect that in the Metroplex. And really, it looks very similar for tomorrow. So this is going to be Thursday evening into Thursday night, and still that slight risk of seeing quarter-size hail, wind gusts of 60 miles an hour. It again stays well to the south and west. So for tonight, mostly cloudy. Storms are possible, but we're talking about a 20% coverage of rain and storms. Temperatures drop down into the mid 60s tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow afternoon, mostly cloudy during the day, but also dry until we get to later in the evening. And then even at that point, we're only looking at about a 30% coverage of rain and storms. Temperatures do make it into the low 80s. We stayed in the low 80s on Friday, but it is going to be a north wind still. So looking at partly sunny skies by the time we get to Saturday, now that wind shifting to the southwest and temperatures are a little bit closer to normal. Sunday, yesterday it was looking like this would be an overnight Saturday night, early Sunday morning event, but this storm system, it's actually slowing down. So it looks to be more like during the daytime. We'll fine tune it as we get closer, but we're going with a 20% coverage of rain and storms that day. And then on Monday, June 2nd, now we've got a 10% coverage of rain and storms. And looking at the second half of that 14-day, it does look pretty warm. Temperatures still close to normal, upper 80s to around 90 degrees with nearly a daily chance of rain and storms. But we'll figure that out once we get there. Generally, it does look pretty unsettled. Guys, back to you.